What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another edition of the Morning After with Nick Hamilton here on Dash Radio, Dash Talk Station. Thanks for checking me out. You got a brand new format, got a familiar voice back in the building, so we'll get into that and more. Man, it's wild out here in these streets, man. Your man J.R. Smith out here off the Hennessy attack. Can't figure out where the ball needs to go. Can Kevin Durant step up in these NBA Finals? Also, your man Brian Colangelo out here with the burner out here in these streets. We'll talk about that and more coming up here on the Morning After with Nick Hamilton.
I'm going to start off with the worst. I'm going to start off with the worst because I was at a recent game, and the Los Angeles Dodgers are really going through it right now. Mm-hmm. I'm not giving them the worst because of performance, but I'm giving them the worst because of the situations that they're in right now. Right now, they're 27-30, third in the West. But the injury bugs have really hit the Dodgers. You look at over the season, Julio Urias, the phenom, hasn't pitched he hasn't thrown a major league pitch this season. That's a problem because that guy's supposed to be, the ace that takes over for Kershaw, or even the second guy in the rotation. He's out for the season. Yusel Puig was out for a while. Hyun-Jin Ryu, Kenta Maeda, Justin Turner, Rich Hill, Corey Seager's out for the season. Chase Utley, and say what you will about Chase Utley, but he's still a productive.
The 60-year-old slugger.
He's still a productive
Silver
bat.
Fox.
He's still a productive bat. So I'm gonna say Chase Utley, still a productive bat in that lineup. And now Clayton Kershaw.
One more again, because here's the thing with Clayton Kershaw. I mean, you had the guy was out for a significant amount of time,
exactly,
which I believe caused the Dodgers to have that landslide of a fall that they did. Then he comes back this past Thursday. Pitches 4 or 5 innings, and then his back tightens up. So
no. He wasn't pitching. Clayton Kershaw is known to be 97, 98.
He was throwing.
Yeah,
he was throwing the ball.
He was just throwing long toss.
He was tossing the ball.
His fastball was between 88 and 90 miles per hour.
Here's the funny part about it, dude. Like
that's high school,
dude.
Now.
That's like coming off vacation and you go back to work, and now you're going back on OJI. Like that's exactly what this equates to. Because when you look at what Clayton Kershaw brings to the table, not just him and his skill set, but his presence on the mound. I mean, when you don't have your ace in the hole, so to speak, and now he's going back on the DL, man, that's all bad. And I like I told you before, we had this conversation even off air. Hey, man, I don't see the Dodgers going deep in the playoffs. I really don't. They may make the wild card. Like I told you, the team that I'm looking at is Arizona to win the NL West this year.
Right, and the NL West is a very winnable division for the Dodgers. I mean, but if they can't shore up these injuries, it's going to be a problem. I mean, Kershaw needs to be Kershaw. I mean, and look at all of this stuff happening, and the Dodgers are basically months removed from the World Series.
I still think they can't come off. They still sick off that Game 7 L, man. They took back in the World Series.
Say what you want, man.
Sick.
But the injury bug hit him Friday night.
Hey,
when Kenley Jansen is coming out of the bullpen, and all of a sudden he rolls his ankle. And you saw him on the
man, it's something going on in that clubhouse. I don't know what it is, and I'm not going to cast any aspersions on what the training staff or what's going to happen. But let me tell you something. If the Dodgers don't get it together and they don't trade for another arm in order for them to go deep into the playoffs, they're in serious mortal peril.
I agree. No.
My worst is Brian Colangelo. And my man out here with the burners. He's saying now, here's the cold part about it. Now, what's interesting about this whole story is the fact that it was discovered. Now, we all know Brian Colangelo has his own regular Twitter handle, right? And then
I follow him.
Right, I'm sure he'll probably follow us too because he's gonna be mad after he hears the show. But then Ben Diedrich from The Ringer discovered that Brian Colangelo had other low-key hidden accounts. So then he calls the Sixers PR department and says, "Hey, what's up with Brian Colangelo and this other burner account?" Now he didn't even mention the fact that he had 3 others that were already discovered. He kept that under wraps, which was smart as a reporter. Because my man was on some investigative I-team reporting from The Ringer. So then the Sixers say, we'll call you back, which is language for, oh, crap, we're busted. How the hell do we get up out of this mess? Because now it's a scandal. So now, all of a sudden, those burner accounts that Ben from The Ringer found went from public to private in a matter of 2 hours.
Exactly.
Then we find out that there's a whole bunch of rhetoric about this dude is releasing medical information on these burner accounts. He's talking about players. He's talking about Joel Embiid. Markelle Fultz's people. It's so much heat against Masai Ujiri, from the GM from the Toronto Raptors. It's so much heat because he wants to take credit for all the good stuff in Toronto, which no one really gives him credit for or gives a damn about to begin with. So he's taking all this heat. It's so much shade, dude. It's ridiculous. Not only that, this is the same guy who also talked about Gabrielle Union. There was tweets about Gabrielle Union. There was tweets about the Muslim ban. There was all kind of salt. We might as well call this dude Laurie's. He was salting it up so bad it wasn't even funny. Now, the cold part about it is this. This is the same guy that was tweeting out confidential medical information. Yeah, went on some of these blogs like he was Stuart Anderson and Black Angus, like the man with 2 IDs. You know what I'm saying? Like he was out here just being reckless. And then to add insult to injury, my man wanted to blame it on his ride or die chick, better known as his wife. What's funny is these burner accounts, the email addresses, guess where they went to?
Yeah, no, I saw.
Brian Colangelo. But the phone numbers went to his wife's cell phone. Yeah. Which doesn't really mean too much to me because you could pick up your wife's cell phone and do whatever you want to do with it. Exactly. That doesn't necessarily mean it was her. But the fact that you out here in these streets lying and dry snitching on people, and then at the same time, you out here mad because you're not getting the credit that you feel like you deserve. Well, you come from privilege, number one, so no one's going to really give you a whole lot of credit, even if you do deserve it, because you come from privilege. What his daddy did, the founder of the Phoenix Suns, the man recreated USA basketball and made it appealing and made it respectable. So, of course, people are going to take from that and say, well, you know what? Brian probably wouldn't have got this job if it wasn't for his daddy. It's not like he's the first Colangelo to do it like his dad was.
Well, so
he's coming from privilege. So my thing is the NBA, first of all, from what I was reading and what I was told, the Sixers are going to wrap this investigation up by next week. So we'll find out what the verdict is from the Sixers next week.
There's no possible way he keeps his job.
You can't.
This is going to hinder him trying to get another job in the NBA as well because he can't be trusted.
Well, know what? First of all, that too, and then also too, you got to understand, he wasn't the best at his job when he was in Toronto. Like he doesn't really get credit for that, which he shouldn't because he wasn't the greatest at it. Right. And also too, once again, here it goes. You living in your daddy's shadows. So he's never gonna outlive that. It's just like when we see about LeBron's son, for example. However great LeBron's son is going to be, and that little boy has some skills. But he's unfortunately, even though he may create his own pathway in basketball, he could be just as great as his dad. But it'll always be that shadow hovering over him that, damn, he ain't like LeBron. He ain't like his daddy. Or he's trying to be like his daddy, which he's probably not. He's just being him, but he can't help the fact that who he was born to. And that's the same thing with Brian Colangelo. But on the other side of the coin, man, how much of a sucker can you be when you out here trying to blame your wife for stuff and trying to keep your job, dude? That's ridiculous. So, to me, I think the NBA needs to fine the Philadelphia 76ers organization for tampering because not only was he talking about his own players, he was talking about other teams' players, which is tampering according to the NBA rules. The same thing that Magic Johnson got fined for talking about players openly. At least Magic was open about it. Right. At least Magic was transparent. Like, look, this is me. This is my account. This is who I am. I ain't got no false accounts that we know about. But for Brian Colangelo going to play the sucker role and sit up here and start talking about behind people's backs, man, I can't respect that at all. And I can't sit up here and think, and I agree with you, that the Sixers will continue his tenure as GM, especially with LeBron James lurking in the wings when they feel like they have an opportunity to snag LeBron James. Yeah, you think LeBron's going to that kind of crap?
Well, not with him there.
Come on, man.
All right, what do you got for best performance of the week?
Man, best performance of the week, what I have to say, man, the best performance, man, was Golden State Cleveland 4. I mean, I know a lot of people said, oh, man, here we go again. I don't want to watch this. But if you watch Game 1 and how Game 1 ended, right, man, that was a classic. Yeah, who would have thought? Who would have thought that for the fourth time, Game 1 not only went into overtime, but how it got into overtime. Let's not forget, Steph Curry at the end of the first half launched it from San Francisco. He launched that shot from San Francisco to end the half. Yeah. And who was supposed to cover him?
But yeah, you already have to know that. I mean, Steph Curry, nobody was covering him.
Well, who was supposed to cover him?
Well, J.R. Smith.
Okay. Welcome back to the Morning After with Nick Hamilton here on Dash Radio, Dash Talk Station. Make sure you hit me up on Twitter and Instagram at Nick Hamilton LA. You can also hit up the governor, better known as James Allen, at Chicago God on Twitter and Instagram. Now, my worst of the week, as we talked about, is your man, J.R. Smith. When I say the bottle and the basketball don't mix, yeah, he's evident of that not happening. Now, if you don't recall, your man J.R. Smith, after George Hill missed the second free throw, which tied the game, which left the game tied, I should say, your man J.R. Smith bounces it out and tries to round out the clock. Now, according to reports, he told head coach Tyronn Lue that he thought that the Cavs were ahead and he was dribbling out the clock so they can win the game. Right. Now, that sounds like a Chris Webber move. Remember timeout?
Yeah, timeout. Michigan Duke, right?
Yeah, about that one.
Michigan.
So I'm sure
North Carolina.
Yeah, UNC. And so then he goes and tells the reporters this, and this is what I want to bring it to the table. Check this audio out because this is ridiculous. Let me know if you believe him.
That sequence with 4 seconds left in the game.
Well, George shot a free throw. I got the rebound. We were tie ball game. We had a timeout, and I was trying to get enough space because I obviously was standing right there, trying to get enough space to bring it out to maybe get a shot off. And then I see him. I looked over at Brian. He looked like he was trying to call timeout, so I just stopped, and then the game was over.
You knew you were tied. You didn't think you were leading.
No, I seen it. I knew we were tied. It's just I thought we was going to call timeout because I got the rebound. I'm pretty sure everybody didn't think I was going to shoot over Katie right there. So.
On the replay.
Now, we all know why you always lying. Because I want to know, first of all, you told Tyronn Lue that you thought you were up. Then you're saying that you knew you were tied. Well, if you knew you were tied, why would you dribble the ball out to try to ring out the clock? And LeBron was standing right there asking for the damn ball. And you going to sit up here? First of all, J.R. Smith does not sound like the most sound dude in the world. The dude, like he sounded, he just took a couple fifths of Hennessy to the head before he came out to the press conference. I'm just saying. What's up with your man?
Look, okay,
get your man.
Let me just say this, man. All right, first of all, on the game, in my opinion, the Cavs came in ready to play. The Warriors came in, looked like overconfidence, and they played carelessly. Now, if you want to point to J.R. Smith, everybody's been pointing fingers at J.R. Smith. But I'm pointing fingers at Tyronn Lue because you had timeouts. You should have called the timeout. You have the rebound. You set up a play. They have plays for like 5 seconds or 4 seconds. I mean, look, they called timeout when
it was 4.5 if they would have called timeout.
They called timeout. Let's take you back about 2 years, 2-3 years. Okay. Derrick Rose hits a 3-pointer in the corner, and the game, it's like about 4 or 5 seconds left on the clock, right? Mm-hmm. They call timeout. Bulls are up by 2, and what happened? They designed a play for LeBron James, and LeBron James hits a game-winning 3, and the Cavs move on. So if I'm Tyronn Lue, I'm saying, look, I'm already knowing I can't give the Warriors extra chances to win the game, just like Houston did. Okay, you give the Warriors another chance and multiple chances to win a game, they're going to do it. They have the shooters and they have the capability to actually get to the basket or take a 30-foot three-pointer and make it. You have Kevin Durant and Steph Curry that's been doing it all season long. So my thing is, the reasons why I say that the Cleveland gave the game away, they didn't really lose the game. They just gave the game away, and the Warriors basically survived this game. Few reasons. All right, LeBron, 51 points. LeBron was going to be LeBron. I said before the series started that, look, Kevin Love has to be that double-double guy he was in Minnesota and he was earlier in the season, with his earlier years in Cleveland. He has to be that double-double guy. He had 13 rebounds, 11 defensive rebounds, which is good against a team that shoots a lot of three-pointers. All right, you bring up, the mental lapse by J.R. Smith. But I'm going to bring up 3 controversial calls in the fourth quarter against LeBron James that I thought were completely garbage. When they reversed that charge call, that's what we should be talking about. When the ref sat there, LeBron James clearly outside of the secured circle.
Right.
He was clearly outside of it. And then to reverse that call and give them another chance to win the game, it's almost like, look, ABC wants this series to go as long as it can for the simple fact that the more games we play, the more money we get.
But we all knew this though. We've been knowing this for
No.
over a decade. We know. I'll
tell you this.
We know it's all about the money.
And exactly, and they're about to lose a lot of money with this Roseanne show being canceled. They're going to lose a lot of money.
Talk about later.
Exactly, they're going to lose a lot of money with that. So why not make it up with the NBA
Well, here's
Finals?
the thing: they're never losing.
Disney's not stupid.
Well, they're never losing money with the NBA Finals. Let's be clear about that. I don't care
if it goes 4 games.
If it went 4 games, they still wouldn't be losing money. Now they may not be able to make the same amount of money or more money that they scheduled to make, but they never lose money. Understand, networks.
I'm gonna quote the great philosopher, Mr. Damon Wayans: "More money, more money."
Right,
more
but
money.
when you in corporate America, that phrase means absolutely nothing to a degree, because when I say that in this regard. You're always going to make money. You're in this business to make money. They're never going to not make money. Now, they may not make, instead of making maybe $50 million, they can make $100 million, absolutely. But they're never going to lose any type of money, because when the commercials and the sponsors come into the fold, when they go bidding for certain amounts of commercials, whether they're 30-second commercials, 45-second commercials, or minute-long commercials, those ads cost. And the longer the series goes, the more the ads go up.
You know how much
But wait a minute. But
what?
for the first 4 games, this already set how much money they're going to have, these advertisers and these sponsors are going to have to spend. So we have our special guest in the building, Dimitry Loiseau. He actually is a celebrity fashion photographer who's worked with many fashion magazines. You see him, his work has graced a lot of covers of magazines. My man is out here doing big things, great things, I might add. And you've seen him, his work has been featured in Vanity Fair Italia, Entertainment Tonight, Extra, Access Hollywood, The Huffington Post, U.S. Weekly, New York Post. The list goes on and on. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Dimitry Loiseau. What's going on, sir?
What's going on? How you guys doing?
Hey, I'm good, man.
Man, thanks for that intro.
Hey, man, appreciate you coming
red
in,
carpet
man.
rollout over here.
Yeah,
Early
man.
in the morning on Saturday.
You know, man, you up there taking pictures of big-time stars, man. We got to give you a big-time introduction.
I appreciate it.
So talk to us a little bit about your journey as far as becoming a celebrity photographer and what that entails, and the hard work and the dedication that it takes to where you are right now and to get to this point where you are now.
Yeah, I mean, that's the key, man, is hard work and dedication. You got to be determined. It's a very, very tough business. You guys know what it is in entertainment.
Right.
And, the journey for me started because I was self-taught, so I had to figure things out by myself. I definitely learned from a lot of different people and things like that, but it wasn't always easy, and that's where a lot of, I think that's what makes the difference between people that make it and people that don't. And, I definitely don't think I'm at the pinnacle of my game, because I'm always learning. But I think staying the course and always willing to learn and listen, I think that's the key for sure.
I took film in high school. I even took a couple of film classes in college, and when they got me at aperture and shutter speed and all that other stuff.
So you went to program mode.
The Al Bundy,
exactly.
The Al Bundy of high school.
Exactly, right. At least I did score 6 touchdowns in the game before I got done. No, but I mean, talk to me about, because you said you were self-taught, and I think that's a lot of. I mean, when you talk about, for lack of a better phrase, camera vernacular. I mean, how were you able to absorb all of the features and how to shoot, manual instead of having it shoot auto? How did you self-teach yourself that? Was it a lot of YouTube, or is it just a lot of reading the books?
Definitely. One of the guys that I really liked his work was Steve McCurry.
Okay.
You guys probably know him. He's a National Geographic photographer. Right. He's a guy that, was famous for shooting the Afghan girl with the green eyes. Mm-hmm. And that picture in itself, that image in itself really, really spoke to me.
Right.
And so the self-taught process was not only reading things online, reading books, but also just following his work and trying to mimic everything that he did. Mm-hmm. And, that's the benefit of kind of being on your own, is it's a lot of trial and error that you can, and you kind of learn from those mistakes and things like that. And, but I did work with other photographers as well too, try to pick up some different things. But right. I think early on I kind of knew I was going to be doing this myself.
Well, also too, I wanted to ask you, because Regard Magazine,
yes, sir,
is something that you own.
Yeah.
Congratulations on
Thank
that,
you.
by the way.
Thank you.
Let's talk a little bit about this pre-ESPY lounge you got coming up, man. That's a big thing. I mean, you got a nice cover with your man Mark Wahlberg. The Rock is on there. I mean, how did you orchestrate that? These are two big time stars. Not to say that you couldn't, but how did you go about orchestrating that and letting that be your cover? And also talk a little bit about the pre-ESPY event that you have coming up.
So the actual cover for the magazine right now is CJ Lana Perry. She is one of the performers on the WWE.
Nice.
And the with Mark Wahlberg and The Rock, things are still in development right now.
Okay.
So, but that's the going cover is Miss CJ Lana. She's really, really dope. The pre-ESPY really is just to celebrate our annual sports and athletes issue.
Okay.
So some of the people that we've had before, we've had like guys like Derek Fisher, we've had Terrell Owens, we've had Misha Tate. We've had Victor Ortiz, some really, really good individuals, man, that were great at their sport. You know what I mean? And so really what it is that we just take advantage of the fact that everybody's going to be around in town, for the ESPYs. And it's a really good party. You guys should come, actually.
Hey, man, you know what? All you got to send is
You
the
don't have to
invite,
ask me
brother.
twice.
Yeah, you got to just make sure my name is good at the door. We good.
I need my
Hey, man,
credentials.
Dimitry said I could come, man.
Exactly.
Ask my cousin in there, man. You said I could come. You know,
Yeah,
how,
man.
you know how
my-
black folks do it.
Put my first and last
Make sure
name
you
on the
have your name
credential.
on the list because people do text me and I'm like, I cannot get you in.
You know, or they use a cousin. Man, that's my cousin, man. I know that dude, man.
Yeah, I usually just turn my phone off after that.
Exactly.
But how do you? I mean, why a WWE star? I mean, obviously, I'm a big time WWE fan. I was happy when I saw her name go across the screen. I was like, whoa, that's gonna be dope.
Yeah.
But are you a WWE fan yourself, or are you?
Nah,
into,
I wouldn't say I'm a super fan. I definitely it's been one of those things that has kind of grown on me.
Mm-hmm.
At first, I used to watch it back in the day with
Right.
like, Hulk Hogan and
Andre the Giant,
Andre the Giant,
Yeah.
all those guys or whatever. And it was just more like entertainment and my brothers and I would try to, suplex on each other and all that stuff, break a few bones. But I didn't realize just how much of an athlete they really are.
Yeah.
It's not just entertainment. I mean, yeah, they're acting and they're doing all these other things, but the amount of pain that they absorb, that's all that stuff is real.
51 weeks a year. I mean, I've gone to various shows when Monday Night Raw would come here or SmackDown Live would come, and watching these athletes ringside. I mean, watching the amount of abuse and punishment they put on themselves just to entertain all of us. I mean, I commend them anyway. I mean, John Cena to The Undertaker to, Brock Lesnar. These guys are and ladies too. I mean, Natalya, you have, Nia Jax.
So you're like a real fan.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. I'm near.
Oh,
like,
okay.
I'm near.
That's
You know
what's
what I mean?
up, man.
So I mean, you see all these athletes, man. And you see what they put in. I mean, remembering what Kurt Angle, was. Now he's the general manager of Raw. But I mean, when he was a wrestler, and even watching him wrestle a few times, since he's been GM, you kind of go back and relive those moments when you're like, man, I remember Kurt Angle was like,
he was the one.
man, like you know what I mean. So
Right.
it's cool to see that you're branching out, and I think a lot more entities are starting to branch out to WWE and UFC and different types of sports where it's not just about the common four,
Right.
The basketball, football, hockey, and baseball. It's more about, hey man, we have snowboarding. There's
Oh, absolutely. I mean, in past
lot
issues,
more.
we've had people like Jamie Anderson, who's a
Yeah.
snowboarder.
Right.
This issue, we're also going to have Ibtihaj Muhammad. I don't know if you guys are familiar with her, but she was actually the first American Muslim woman to wear hijab for fencing in the
nice.
Olympics. Yeah.
Nice.
So, we try to really branch out and just like showcase different types of sports, different types of athletes. And I think it's really good for our viewers to see, besides just the regular four major ones.
What can people expect from your magazine? Why should they check out your magazine? If they haven't already, why should they be intrigued to check it out?
I think we put a lot of effort into the photos, the images, and making sure that they're timeless, that they're classic. I'll give you an example. 4 years ago, we had an opportunity to have Meghan Markle in the magazine.
Right.
And at that time, I had no idea that she was going to be the Duchess of Sussex. You know what I mean?
Wow.
But again, if you look at the images today, it looked like it was done just yesterday, and that's
Right.
and that's the thing that we take pride in is really just just the classiness of the images and really giving people like really pictorials. In a lot of different magazines, and no shots fired, but a lot of different magazines, you'll see even a cover person, Viola Davis or whoever it may be. And, they got the cover image and then there's like 2 pictures on the inside with like all these words, and unfortunately we live in a society where things have kind of switched a little bit.
Right.
Less and
Absolutely.
less people are reading a lot more. And so we keep it very visual, much in the same way that Instagram is or Pinterest
Exactly.
and things
Smart.
like that, So when people look at our magazine, your favorite celebrity or athlete or whoever it is going to get a really nice, beautiful spread. And that's the point of it.
What is it you like most about shooting? I mean, when I first got started, when I took the film classes, it was not similar journey as you, because you identified, a guy that you liked, but I was more into like distressful pictures that were more ambiguous than that you had to really think about, because I was more in the arts, like painting and all that. But when I was taking my shots, I would take them always in black and white, and they were more ambiguous. They was like somebody looking out of the window in distress, but or somebody that was going through some type of trouble or something like that, and that inspired me to shoot more. So when you're shooting, I mean, outside of just regular people, what is like your favorite shot? What is it you like shooting most of when you're on? I mean, not when you're doing it for the magazine, but just for fun.
For fun, it's always about finding a connection,
Right.
And being able to tell a story.
Exactly.
When you're taking images, you don't know what these people are, they're not saying anything. There's no words, there's no sound, there's no anything, right? And so really the story of every individual is really told in what you can see in their eyes. And I think that is, what I try to focus on. Most of the time, I would say like 90% of the time, the people that I shoot with, I've never shot them before. I've never met them. I don't know. We've never, had any kind of connection. And so when they come into the door, my job is to literally in just a few minutes be able to figure out who that individual is and what I can extract from them to be able to tell that story.
So do you like do like a 5-minute to 10-minute interview with them and just talk to them about whatever their likes and dislikes are, or whatever, just to extract that, or do you just go in, see them, and you already know what you have in mind?
Yeah, man, I have a very organic approach, man. It just the thing is that I just go based off of feeling, and I think I've been doing it for so long that I can kind of detect what that is. Right. And just go with that.
Yeah, man. Shout out to my man Kendrick Lamar, who received his Pulitzer Prize in Washington on, I believe, Wednesday or Thursday. Congratulations out to Kendrick Lamar. Congratulations out to TDE, Top Dog, and that whole crew. Congratulations out to them, man. He earned it. Now, that's a brother that's doing some great things in the community and some great things in the work. Like to thank our special guest.
Thank you very much, gentlemen. It was really, really, really good being with you guys.
Absolutely.
Let everybody know where they can find you, man, on social media, and keep up with your great magazine, man.
Yeah, appreciate it. Regard Magazine, you can go to regardmag.com, and on Twitter and on Instagram is @regardmag. And check it out. The ESPY party coming on July 17th here in Los Angeles.
July 17th, my man Dimitry.
Punch your ticket.
Yeah, punch it, man. Thank you, Dimitry, so much for taking time. We got to have you back, too, man.
I'd love to.
We got to have you
guys are
back
cool,
and talk.
man.
And
I
talk
want a
a little
signed
bit.
copy of the mag. That's all I want, bro.
Well, let's do it.
Let's do it.
All right, man. Well, I just want to get into the not only the magazine, but I want to get into the party.
Yeah, he's trying to get to the ESPY party.
I'm trying to kick it with my man over here, man. So,
I want to
really
see his work first, so I can say, "Oh yeah, he did this."
See, that's what happens. I saw the man's work. That's why I invited the man on the show. So thank you so much, Dimitry, for coming on, man. We appreciate you. Continued success to you. Thank you so much for tuning in to The Morning After with Nick Hamilton here on Dash Radio, Dash Talk Station. If you missed any portion of this broadcast, make sure you check us out at the iTunes store at The Morning After with Nick Hamilton, as well as subscribe to us on SoundCloud at soundcloud.com/The Morning After Show 1. If you're on iTunes, we appreciate the 5 stars. Don't be a hater and give us 4. All right? Thank you so much. Until next time, stay safe, stay sharp. We out.